Hello. Today in the game room we have University of Louisiana at Lafayette safety Collin Jacob. Collin, how are you doing today?
And I'm good, man. I'm blessed. I'm blessed.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. First question, I gotta ask you: favorite artist for the game? Who we bumping?
Before the game, who we bumping? I usually like to listen to like some calm. So like, maybe a little Friday, maybe a little McMill or something. Usually when I'm turned, I put on YB. Everybody fan favorite. But I'm a calm person. I like to have an ease mind. A set mind whenever before I hit the field, whatever it may be. But when it's time to turn up, then I go for
Yeah.
like the turn up people. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I was expecting YB to be the first name coming out. Being from Louisiana.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I'm happy we got someone else first. And
Nah,
then,
it's like I said, I like YB too. Though. Whenever I need to turn up or whenever it's time to get rotted, then people know what to put on, bro.
yeah,
They
but
know what to
and
put
then
on.
you got a little guilty pleasure artist. Someone you just kind of, or is it kind of just
A guilty pleasure artist.
yeah.
Actually, you know the girl that made "Man I Need." I don't know her name. I want to say it's like Olivia or something.
We gonna have to do some
You got to do
research.
some
We gonna have
research.
to do some research.
But now her little song, she got a couple of songs that I be listening to whenever I'm just driving. You
Uh
feel
huh.
me? I'm like, if anybody know I listen to this, you feel me? They might react crazy to me, but nah, she hard though. I don't know her
Alright,
name though. I have to look, but the song is "A Man I Need." I don't know why I like it. It's just catchy though. I
alright.
like it.
Now, Colin, you are a sophomore or junior right now.
I'm actually a senior. This is my
So,
last year.
this
Yeah.
your last year,
Yes, my last year, bro. Last one, best one though.
man. Man, I got one season. I didn't
What?
even get a full
You
season.
feel me
I got
though?
I got 5 games, but
Hey, it be like that, but hey, we're gonna make it count this season. Though. I'm gonna
yeah,
make sure everything's structured. I'm gonna make everything fun, cause I feel like last season, we had our ups and downs. The season
yeah,
didn't go out the way we wanted to. Lost some games at the beginning, that should have been won, but I feel as though we lost the fun in it. And I think that's what I'm gonna bring back, especially uh, of the culture of the football team. Like I'm gonna bring some fun back into it. You know what I mean? Where we could be winning and it's fun. You
oh
know what I
yeah,
mean? Like both of
oh
them.
yeah.
Why not both?
Yeah, for reference, my freshman year, we went 10-2, made the conference championship.
Yeah.
Lost that starting quarterback and the backup quarterback
Yeah.
got hurt,
Yeah.
so we were struggling out there. So we had some high expectations, couldn't quite meet them, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's you got to make do with what you got.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
after the start we had, I did not think we would still be playing in December, but
Facts. Facts. Nah, it's crazy how especially like a team like that we just had. For us just to dial and lock in, like, hey, we're gonna get this bowl game for the seniors. We're gonna go
yeah,
ahead, show out for the seniors. Show the Lafayette, show the community, show the world that we can actually do this. Go 4 straight and get a bowl game. You know what I mean? So that right there just shows dedication, motivation, and a team that's like I said, I was motivated to do what they had to do.
yeah. This year we, especially on defense, we had a whole lot of seniors.
Yeah.
If you could just talk about how much that whole journey
Hmm.
meant to all of them, being able to actually make it to the postseason in their last season.
Now I think it meant a lot to them to actually show that we actually care for them. You know what I mean? Because a lot of teams be like, okay, it is what it is. We 2-6. The season over with. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? But it took you know it took us the whole as a team, not just the teams, but the whole team, including the coaches and the staff, including you guys. You know what I mean? For us to actually say, hey, we're gonna lock in and we're gonna get these four wins that we
yeah,
need to have. You know what I mean? And like I say, send them off with a good note. I think it was very emotional. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Actually, when we won that last game versus your limit overtime, it was emotional. You know what I mean? It got you shaking in your boots.
That
You know
was
what I
that was
mean?
stressful. That
it
was
got you. It
stressful.
got you shaking in your boots, and I feel as though like we actually, like I said, went to overtime and pulled the win off. But it just show how much like we care for the seniors and care for the game. Care for the UL Raging Cajuns. I think that itself explains for itself.
Yeah, I'm a ball boy during the game, so I'm on the UL sideline.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there. We got our little lead. I'm like, okay, can we not do what we do every week? Can we just win this game, easy, comfortable? Nope, got
Yeah.
to go to overtime again. But
Facts, bro.
we won the game, and that's what
That's that.
matters.
That's the most important thing,
Yeah.
man. It's to win the game, bro.
No
But
matter how clean and how ugly it might look, You get that win, you're gonna be happy.
It's a win on the stat sheet for us, man.
Yeah. Would you say for you, was there like any high points during the season where you, just for you specifically, maybe not as a team, but you specifically, where you were really just having like a fun time? Because you talked about having fun throughout the season, and it's not a whole lot of fun when you losing and you 2-6.
Man, I want to say like especially towards the beginning, when we're losing the game. I mean, we lost the first game to the home opener. We came back and beat McNeese. Then we had Mizzou and Eastern Michigan we lost to. I think going in the versus Marshall, I want to say that we had when we won in Dover overtime. Yeah. I feel as though that right there was fun, but it also was a serious moment for me. It was an opportunity that I had, for me to actually get in on the field on defense and actually show people what I can do, my ability. And like I always say, like, take advantage of your opportunities. You know what I mean? Because you don't know how many of those that you're going to receive in life. Yeah. So take advantage, no matter how much, like how small or how big it is. Every opportunity is an opportunity that you can take advantage of. And that's, when my coaches put me off to the side, they're like, hey, you might get some playing time in this game. You know what I mean? Some people get the butterflies. Some people, get the shaking in their boots. Their knees start shaking or something like that. But I was totally confident in myself. You know what I mean? I was totally focused, locked in. I told myself, like, hey, this is your chance is going to come. Be ready for it. You know what I mean? So I would probably say, for the Marshall game, that was a fun game for me. You know what I mean? I ended up setting a high career, tackle on defense. You know what I mean? That right there just shows for itself that it's not only fun, but it's a challenge to yourself to be better. You know what I mean? It's a challenge to yourself to say, I can do this. Even though I was a walk-on, so what? I still can go on the field and prove to people that, hey, I'm the person I say I can be. You know what I mean? And I think that carries a long way. And it's a mental game. You know what I'm saying? I was motivated by so many things. I want to say off the field, because I got my family in the stands. I got, my brother in the stands. That's little things right there that I cherish a lot. And for me to go and put on the performance that I had, it was all for them. You know what I mean?
And just talk a little bit more about that experience, because before then, you have been playing, but it was all pretty much all special teams up to that point. Even prior seasons is all special teams work.
Thanks.
But just tell a little bit about how much special teams really matters and how much you putting in work there can show the coaches that, hey, I can do this anywhere.
Yeah. Now, most definitely. I think, special teams is as important as offense and defense. You know what I mean? I feel as though, as for me, I really didn't touch the field till this past year, but prior years, that's all I was playing with special teams, and special teams is game changers. At the end of the day, if you really think about it, if you do good on special teams, you most importantly gonna win that game. You most likely gonna win that game. So I took that, I took special teams to heart. Whether I was on kickoff, whether I was on block, punt, whatever it may be, I took it to heart because it was a job that I have to do. Our coaches always say, do your 111. So the first, 4 or 5 games that I played special teams, I took that to heart. I gave it 100%. I gave it the best that I can possibly do. You know what I mean? Because I knew that it mattered to the team. And if I did my job, then, that was gonna make everything else fall in line. You know what I mean? So, like I said, like me playing special teams, it was a big role for me. I didn't take it like, oh man, I'm playing special teams. I ain't getting no defenses. Like I said, like, okay, this is your job, Collin. You gonna do this to the best of your ability. You know what I mean? And from that point on, our special teams coordinator looking at that, it's like, okay, let's give him a shot on defense. You know what I mean? Or our head defensive coordinator, like, okay, he hitting people on kickoff. Let me see what he gonna do on defense. You know what I mean? So, like I said, when that opportunity came for me to show him defense, I think it was much, like I said, I was confident in myself because I can trust myself. I already know the feeling of it. You know what I mean? Like I said, like I was in my element. Flow state, what people say, but. Like I said, I was just in a comfortable mindset of transitioning from special. I still play a little bit of special teams, but then when I started to play more defense, they kind of like lacked me on the special teams part. But I still took my role and my job serious, even with the limited amount of reps that I had on special teams. You know what I mean? That transition between that to defense.
Yeah, and just for reference, I work for the equipment staff at UL on a practice. We got practice sheets, and on the script, it says game changers, and that's special teams. And we even saw it in the national championship game.
Facts.
Indiana won because they blocked the punt, which they recovered, and then scored a touchdown, and their kicker made his field goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Miami had that punt blocked, and they missed a field goal. So it ends up being a big difference despite how little they're on the field.
And you will be surprised of how many games that we played this year was just by this much, by a field goal or a block punt or whatever it may be. It's those little things that's matter, and I think like a lot of people look over that, when they get to the statistics of the game. But if you actually look at those things are what make you a winner or a loser at the end of the day. That's what make you a winner or a loser.
Now you talked about your brother and how much playing for him meant.
Mm-hmm.
You had your first kid.
Yeah.
How much did that mean to you?
That's the world to me, bro. I feel as though mimicking him when he had his. I feel as though the process of that just like okay, what one twin do, the other twin do. You know what I mean? So I guess you could say like he was an important factor in that area because it's like okay, I seen him do it, and whenever I got the news, I'm like, all right, cool, like you seeing Caleb do it. You know what I mean? And I like it's gonna be easy, but it's gonna be hard at the same time. But he gonna be there to guide me. Whether it may be. I feel as though he was an important role because he showed the example first. I got to follow the steps. I got to follow the process that he was doing. And like I say, man, he's an awesome father. You know what I mean? And that's what that's what I wanted to be. You know what I mean? So everything that he was chasing, I'm gonna chase as well. Even better. Whatever that may look like or whatever that be. But I'm blessed. I'm happy, bro. And I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue to be the best dad I could be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's really all you can ask for.
Yeah,
at the end of the
most
day,
definitely. I think that is the biggest blessing you could ever ask for.
100%.
You know what I mean? At first it may seem shaky, first it may seem like scary or anything like that, but that's the biggest blessing you could ever ask for. I can even remember the first time me, holding her, like, it's a different feeling. You know what I mean? It always makes your heart stop. You know what I mean? Like, y'all share a heartbeat or something like that. But like I said, it's a different feeling, it's a different emotion, and it teaches you so many life lessons. You know what I mean? There's so many things that I have grown from the time she was born than now. Patience, sacrifice, time. All those things that I sought as little, those are the most important things to me right now. So I think, that's a big thing for the spot, that I am right now.
Now, staying off the field, I've seen, posts of you doing stuff in the community. There was, a little post. You was in one of the posts for the bowl game, throwing beads for Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
How much does the off the field stuff matter to not only you, but you guys as a whole for the team? How much does it help build character, strengthen the bond between you guys?
Man, I think, that was one thing with me, like, whenever I want to say, like, in 2023, 2024, when I really wasn't getting a whole lot of playing time, some people were like, man, I'm going to look to do something different. Man, I'm going to leave this football stuff alone. I felt as though, like, I wasn't going to let that stop me from helping out inside the community or like, doing stuff that was worthy inside the community, whatever it may be. There's a lot of service events that we did, community service, going to see the elderly people, you know what I mean? Like that, those things put a smile on my heart, you know what I mean? Because that means so much to them, you know what I mean? It's bigger than football. Like what I say, like those things is bigger than football because it's stuff like that that's what's gonna get us closer together. You know what I mean? If we can go do those things together and be happy with ourselves after that, that's just gonna bring us closer on the football field. So I think, like you say, like with me going out to help the community in Lafayette, some of the areas is just a heart-to-heart moment. You know what I mean? You don't get that feeling nowhere else. Yeah. And for the bowl game, we that's the schedule that we do every bowl game. We go and help out, do community service, and just be around, just to help up others. You know what I mean? We like to help others and put a smile. I think that's the number one thing that I tell myself every day. Like, whenever you wake up, make somebody smile. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that self-takes put something on my heart. You feel me? It may not be about the other people, but it's for me. Yeah. To feel the joy, the smile on other people's faces, the happiness of other people's faces. That's what put happiness on my heart. But I really cherish those moments, and those memories will last me forever. You know what I mean? We make football memories, but I think those outside of football is what cherish and what lasts forever.
I mean, we can only play football, or we can only play basketball or whatever
for so long. You know what I mean? But those moments, we could continue to help others. We could continue to give. You know what I mean? And I give just to give. Like, I don't give for anything in return. Yeah. Like, it's just the love that I have of just giving. My mama, like, she harps on us, like me and my siblings. Like a lot of us, like, hey, like, be the light that God wanted you to be. You know what I mean? And I take that so seriously because it's like it's been so many times where then, I wasn't in the right situation, and somebody else gave me some sense of wisdom. They gave me some type of help that made me realize, like, dang, like they really love me in order for them to do that to me. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
when I walk around, whenever I go to these certain places, I make sure people feel loved. I make sure people feel heard, seen, whatever it may be, to put a smile on their heart.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because that's what I cherish. At the end of the day, that's what I
I
cherish.
mean, even I can speak on this. My mom also just harp.
Yeah.
Give other people your time. Give other people these resources. 'Cause
Exactly.
They can't always provide for themselves. They can't always do these things that you have the access or the ability to do.
Exactly.
And yeah, you got sports now, but you can't always have sports.
Mhm.
But you always gonna have something in your heart telling you,
Yeah.
I can do this for someone else and make their day better.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that matters so much more.
I swear, man. I like to tell people, man, like stars don't only shine in the night. You know, if you look yourself in the mirror, you'll see the brightest of them all. You know what I mean? If you look at yourself as a star, if you look at yourself as, you know, God put you here, you know, to share His love, to share His peace, His joy. You know, like that's good that you have that inside of your heart, because you know, there's so many people walk around. You know, they may be worried about this, they may frustrated about this, but like if you know, if you got the peace of mind, peace of heart, then all that stuff everything's gonna be taken care of. You know what I mean? Like everything's gonna be taken care of. That's why, like, I walk around with no fear. That's why I say, like, I walk around with no fear. I walk around with no worry, because I know, you know, who's in control, who's in order. You know, and that's the Lord who's giving my peace of mind, peace of heart. You know, so I'll forever trust in Him, no matter what it is.
Another thing, you know, I didn't plan on being here. I never planned on coming to UL
Yeah.
Lafayette.
Yeah.
I wanted to go Oklahoma because, you know, SEC, big journalism program.
Yeah.
God didn't have it that way. My parents said, you're going to go here. And if it work out, it work out. If it don't, we can move on. But what I realized is that it's not always where you are in the moment.
Mhm.
It's where you going to be in a year, 2 years.
Exactly.
And now I'm doing what I love doing. I'm talking to people. I'm talking to people about sports. I've been around sports as long as I can remember. I mean, my earliest memories are me watching my mom playing basketball in a rec league, or me at a Charlotte Bobcats game back when they was still the Bobcats.
You feel me?
and now I'm here doing what I love doing.
You love doing, man. Like I say, bro, one of my favorite Bible verses is Jeremiah 29, verse 11. It says, you know, the Lord knows our plans. You know what I mean? Plans for the prosper us and not the harm us, plans for a future and a hope. And you know, every time I step into a situation like this, or I said that verse right before I came here. On the field, going through service, like, you know, he declares like our plans for us. So like, you know, like you say, you love what you love doing. You never knew you was gonna do this when you first came to UL. You know what I mean? And it took time for you to actually process, go to the things you went through, survive and go through them, and then now you like, okay, I love to do this, so that's what I'm gonna stick my heart out to. Like, God, if this is for me, let it be for me. You know what I mean? And I think it's those leap of faith. You know what I mean? It's something with faith that you gotta have to trust and believe. You can see the vision before the vision even get here. You know what I mean? So like I say, like for this football stuff, I saw the vision. You know, I didn't know when I was gonna get my opportunity. You know what I mean? But I trust in the Lord. I trust His vision. You know, He gave me signs. He gave me, you know, callings and stuff like that. Like, hey, your time coming. Just be patient with me, son. You know, just be patient with me. And when it finally came, I'm like, this is what we talked about.
Oh yeah,
this is what we talked about.
Especially nowadays with how chaotic the transfer portal can be. I mean, being a senior and not even playing on the side of the ball the school recruited you to play at.
Yeah.
Nowadays, kids gonna transfer. I mean, we've seen it now. Kids transfer 4 or 5 different schools.
Yeah.
But having the thought of mind to, you know, say, I'm gonna stay put, I'm gonna grind, I'm gonna work, and I know it's gonna pay off one day. And now we seeing the fruits of that labor.
Yeah. Exactly. Like I say, like, I just trusted the process. You know, it was a real, like when I first came here, it was rough years. The first 2 to 3 years was rough. You know what I mean? I wasn't seeing the fit at all. I had people asking me, like, you still on the football team? You know what I mean? And that age, like, you laughing, and we can laugh about it now, you feel me? But that hurt my heart. You know what I mean? Like, I go home, like, bro, like, I really need to do something about this. You know what I mean? Because if people ask me, like, you still on the football team? football was my first love. You know what I mean? Besides my mama, you know what I mean, in the Lord. You know what I
100%.
mean? It was my first
100%.
love. And people, somebody said like, "Hey, you still in football? Hey, you still play football?" Like that actually triggers in my mind. That really played with my mental. Like, I need to do something about this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need to make some changes. I need to make some. You know, I need to make something happen. You know what I mean?
100%.
And it wasn't until, you know, and not to be too spiritual, but it wasn't until I got saved. I got baptized February 18th of 2024.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, my life has dragged, not just in a football aspect, as a man, as a brother, as a son, you know, as a father in Christ, as a servant of the Lord.
Oh, yeah.
All that drastically changed. And I feel as though that I'm glad I got introduced to the Lord, because I always built upon my mom's relationship with God. You know, if everything, I go to my mom.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Until he actually sat me down and said, "Look, son, like, you need to gain a relationship with me first.
You got to do this on
You
your
got to
own.
do this on your own." You know what I mean? Because mama ain't going to always be there to save you. You know what I mean? You're going to learn how to talk to me, you know, face to face by yourself, and not gather on your mom, you know, to actually, you know, speak up for you. So I really took that seriously. You know what I mean? And from since then, like, my walk with faith, my walk with God has grown so much that, you know, I could see things that I didn't see before. I can hear things that I can hear before. I have dreams and signs and all those things, and I thank him every day. You know, I thank him every day for waking me up this morning, because you got to think about it. Like, somebody didn't wake up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you going through it, when you fail the test, whenever your call got a flat, you know what I mean? Like, you got to always remember, like, somewhere out there, somebody, you know, got it worse than you.
They ain't even got the resources. Like, for me,
Like,
I've got my car. My car is 30 years old. There's been a couple of times where my car just will not start. I gotta call AAA.
Yeah.
I gotta say, "Hey, man, can you
need
give
y'all
me
to go.
the practice? Can you get me to the game?"
Damn fact.
But at the end of the day, it's still a blessing, because, like, I got a car, man.
Yeah.
I can go wherever I want to go.
Exactly.
I can do so many things people ain't even got access to.
Yeah.
You just got to think, at the end of the day, is like, God's here so I can do what he's put me out to
what
do.
he designed you to do.
And as long as I'm doing that, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly, bro. You gotta count your blessings, bro. It's so many things out here, bro, that we don't even know about. You know, people that's going through things, health things.
Yes.
I heard something like, a quote that said that, you know, basically all your problems, like, stop, you know, whenever you have a health problem. All, like, everything else stop inside. Like, everything else, think about it.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever had a health problem, was you in the hospital, you were sick, you had surgery, you feel me? Every other problem has stopped in your head except you focus on that one. So just think about it, like, it's so many more important things than, you know, the little things that we complain about these days. You know what I mean? That could just, we could say a prayer and get that flush from our system, get that flush from our mental state of mind. And I think if a lot of people take their time to actually dial into the word and live a righteous and obedient life, then they will live with so much peace inside this world like no other. And you know, they'll see the actual growth within themselves. You know what I mean? They'll see the changes that they make in decisions or whatever it may be that you're lacking in.
Yeah.
They'll see the changes grow. You know what I mean? I mean, they'll see the changes change. But at the end of the day, bro, like, you got to be thankful.
Yeah.
You got to be thankful that you still got breath in your lungs. Like, people take that for such a granted. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Like, we need oxygen to live. Like, people take that for granted.
Yeah.
And you got to understand, it's little things like that that's the most important things out of this world.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
But I live my life with peace. You know, I'm a man of faith. I'm a man of God. You know, I like to walk in a straight line, but I also, you know, like to help others. You know what I mean? Whether they may be, and I like to help others. That's my number one thing, to be a servant. That's what I love to do. That's what brings joy to my heart, you know. And like I say, like, I know I'm a football player, but I'm bigger than a football player at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I'm a light from God, bro. Like I like to say, I'm a light from God, bro.
Yeah. You got to be bigger than the program. In the equipment room, we always talk about you can't be bigger than the program.
Yeah.
Because once you start thinking, man, this ain't nothing, this whatever, you lose sight of the goal.
Facts.
You lose sight of the ultimate goal.
Facts.
Whether that's walking in faith or in football terms, winning games.
Yeah.
We can't go off script just because we don't like the play call, or we can't miss our assignment because we feel like we ain't get the shine that we think we deserve.
Exactly.
But it all comes in due time. Everything comes in due time. Everything happens for a reason.
True. That's so true right there. I ain't gonna lie to you. Everything happens for a reason, bro. Man, I like to say let time play its course. It's already written.
Oh yeah.
We just waiting for it to come.
We just waiting for it to play out.
It's already written, bro. Your story already written. Your journey already written. You just gotta trust. You gotta trust the process. You know what I mean? If you do fall down, get back up. You know what I mean? It's not about how you fall. It's about how you get back up.
Oh,
How
yeah.
fast you get back up.
You gonna fail. You gonna get knocked down. I don't know how many times.
Yeah.
I've been knocked down. I don't know how many times in life. But it matters how quickly can you
Yeah.
get back up, put your shoes back on,
Exactly.
and keep moving forward.
Keep moving
'Cause that's what matters at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, that's what matters, bro. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Going back to football, you've talked a lot about being calm. You know, being a calm
Yeah.
person. You wouldn't.
I think I know where you're going.
You wouldn't.
I
You
think-
would not be able to tell from watching this man play football.
I think I know where you're going. with
This man slapping his helmet, yelling, doing all type of crazy stuff. So where that energy come from? Where that fire in you come from whenever you step on the field?
Man. That took some time for me to get. That took a lot of time for me to get, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you though, cause I was always known as an aggressive player,
Yeah.
since high school. But it's like the loose screws mentality. You know, I grew that in college. You know what I mean? And I think like a lot of stuff played out outside of football. That like football was the only way I can let that stuff out. You know what I mean? When I got to practice, I knew that, I ain't gonna say there was no rules, but it's like I can go out here and hit somebody and let whatever may be, my pain, my frustration, my anger. Like this was the only sport I could actually do it without being consequented for it. You know what I mean? Without me being in trouble with it. So when I started to look at it, in that type of mindset, like I said, a lot of stuff played out outside of football. I ain't get too much into detail, but just a lot of things that, had me sleepless at night, had me shedding tears just random. You feel me? Like, feel me? Like, not to get on a deeper level, but just stuff along those lines where, like, I got on the football field and it's like, all right, Collin, like, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to.
It's time to work.
It's time to. You can't wait. You only get one shot. You can't wait. So, like I said, like, for instance, I'm going to give an example, like, for my brother, he had an incident, a knee injury where he couldn't play football no more. And that played, a mental state of, like, that played a mental part in how I played. You know what I mean? Because I always played with my brother.
Yeah.
Like, since little leagues, like, we never missed a game. We never not played. It was always me and him, So, like I say, him, the situation he was in, him not playing with me, it played an important role because, I had to play for two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now I got to play for two. Like, that's some people don't know why I wear 35. They ask me why. I'm keeping 35 this year, too. They ask me why I didn't change my number and stuff like that. But the reason I wear 35 is because of him. Like, in high school, I was number 3, he was number 5. You know what I mean? And we call him, K5, 5, just off the rip. That's his nickname.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, whenever, I say 35, I'm saying I'm playing for two people. You know what I mean? That 5 on me, it's just not a number. It stands for something, and it stands for him. You know what I mean? And I don't know if you know, but playing by yourself is hard, but playing for two people is for so hard. You know what I mean? So I got to do what I got to do. So whenever spring practice came around, I had to put on. Like, I had to put on, my armor. I had to put on my helmet, my pads, and say, I'm gonna go out and do the best that I can.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Whatever that may look like. So the people you like to call me a crash out. You know what I mean? Like, they like to call me loose screws, crash out.
In the EQ, this CTE Junior right here. This
You feel
CTE
me? Hey,
Junior.
You feel me? Like I said, it all come from somewhere though. Like it's and it's not imaginary. Like,
Yeah.
this is the real me. Like I swear, like when I get on the football field, it's like a switch. You know, you say I'm talking to you calm, but when the football field is strictly, hey, all right, it's time to buckle this chin strap up and go.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a different mentality that I have. I think, I like to say that I'm different from everybody. I know I got a couple of loose screws. You know what I mean? But you kind of need those couple of loose screws to actually play on defense. And at my position at safety, you got to fill in some run fits. You got to tackle some big backs. So it's good to have the loose screws because then now I'm playing with no fear.
Oh, yeah.
I'm playing with all kind. I love myself whenever I get on the field. You feel me? And I'm gonna tell somebody, like, you feel me? If my opponent, I say I love me. And if you do, juke me, I'm coming. I'm gonna get up and come back. Like, you feel me? Like,
Oh, yeah.
I feel like a lot of people, they get ran over or they get malls start to get, you feel me, they get down and it mess up they playing field. Like I
Yeah.
said, the flow state, it mess up their flow state. For me, like that fuels me. Like, okay, I'm gonna get you back.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna get you back, but I'm gonna get you back.
Best believe it.
Best believe it. You feel me? Like,
Oh,
best
yeah.
believe it. That's why I say, like, it's a certain mentality that you gotta have playing football. You know what I mean? You can't just like the game. You gotta love it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a lifestyle. Like, I look at this as a true lifestyle. If I didn't have football, I don't know where would I be right now.
Especially now with NIL, you got dudes saying I gotta make some money.
Exactly.
I gotta put food on the table.
Exactly, bro.
It's almost like the NFL.
It drastically changed in the amount of years that this has been put into
Oh, yeah.
college. It changed. It's gonna change college forever. You know what I mean?
I mean, just talk about it. You know, coming in NIL,
Mm-hmm.
whenever you first got to NIL was very new.
Yeah.
And you know, we saw players getting like 1 million, maybe 2 million, but that's
Yeah.
that's
Maximum.
like the
Yeah.
Archie Mannings
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
world. That's the Joe Burrows.
The top dogs of the world.
And now it's like we got kids getting $1 million just because the schools got so much money because they got someone over here giving them 5, another
Yeah.
one giving them 3, another one
Exactly.
giving them another 5.
Exactly,
So just
bro.
talk about how that aspect of the game has just made you realize I
Yeah.
gotta play for something bigger than me.
Exactly. I feel as though like you said, like when I first came in, like NIL, it was being talked about. It wasn't even passed yet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's how, you feel me? That's how the couple years. And I came in at 2022. It's 2026, and to see the drastic change that they made in the last 4 years is crazy to me. Because I feel as though people, you know, they start looking at the game as a business.
Oh, 100%.
It's a business. It's
yeah.
College football is a business now. You
Oh,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Especially when, like you said, when NIL first being developed, when it first came inside of, you know, the NCAA, they start looking at it as a business because, you know, like you say, some teams offering this guy $1 million, or what they offer me $3 million. You know what I mean? What you gonna do now? You feel me? You gonna bump up the price, or you gonna say, let me find a new player? You know what I mean? And I think, you know, a lot of kids. And I mean, like, hey, like you say, people gotta put food on their plate. You know what I mean? People
yeah.
gotta be food on the table. Like, I can see why somebody, okay, I'm gonna go here because they offer me bigger money. But then again, it's a con because I feel like people like lost love for the game.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? They lost love for the game because they want more money. But all high money ain't good money. You know what I mean? All, you know, 6-7 million, it ain't good money. You know what I mean? Like, and that's how I think about it. You know what I mean? Like I say, whenever people like, oh, you ain't gonna try to get an NAL. I mean, if it come, it come.
If it's there, it's
You feel
there.
me? If
But
it's
at,
there.
at the end of the day, it's like, do I wanna play and get my money and
Yeah.
prove that I want that money, or do I just want to play so I can get that money
Exactly.
and then take it easy?
Man, like I say, bro, it's a mental game. It's about how you think about it. Like I say, like, yeah, money is good. Yes, you need money to survive. You need money to put food on the table. But that, like, for me, money ain't, you know, I just love the game. Like, for real, like, I really just love football that much that no amount of money can, like, if somebody told me I offer this such and such money, if I offer you $10 million to quit football, I would say, hell no. You know what I mean? If they offer me one bit, like, hell no. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
nah. You know, that's how much I love the game, for real. Like, just, I love the process. I love the things that you learn from football in college, you ain't gonna never learn in other places of your life. You ain't gonna learn it because you only get this part one time.
You only get one chance at this. And speaking, you know, from watching other players, I mean, I'm from Texas. I went to a 6A high school.
Yeah.
I saw, you know, multiple 5-stars leave the high school that I started at. They're doing bigger, better things.
Exactly.
And then it's like coming here, it's like a completely different world.
It is.
Because in Texas, it's like all we know is football. And in Louisiana, it's the same thing, but it just mean more.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it just mean more because it's so much smaller.
Yeah, it is.
It ain't a whole lot of other things to
To
do.
be doing, you feel me, on a Saturday or something
it's
like that.
On Saturday and Sunday, we got one thing going
strictly
on.
Football, man.
And once that happens, we gonna find something else to do. But from the end of August until the middle of February, we got one thing on the dock on the weekend.
Man, I'm telling you, bro. Like that, I think that has been like the grand scheme of you know, not gonna say of all sports, but that has been a big impact on people, like just going to the football
Yeah.
game, watching football. You know what I mean? Like you say on Sundays, people watching the football games. They not watching nothing else but football. That's it. Saturdays they just watching football, and Friday they watching high school football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I think it's calculated like that for a reason. Because Friday is high school, Saturday is college, Sunday. You know what I mean? I think it's calculated that for a reason, so it can be on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's back to back, back to back. But I feel like it's smart. You know what I mean? It's smart too. At the end of the day, to consistently have a sport being played throughout the whole weekend.
Especially when it's so big, it means so much
Facts
to everyone.
Nah, it does.
Because whenever we hear like viewers talking about viewership, it's like basketball they might have 20 million, hockey gonna have 10 million, football gonna be at 120.
Like.
And
it's
like,
levels.
And it's like how, and people that don't be around sports, or like people that grew away from sports, would be like, how does it mean so much? But it's either you get it or you don't. At the end of the day, you understand it and you love it and you want everything about it.
Exactly, you want everything that it come with, bro. But hey, like I said, I just love the game. You know what I mean? I really do truly love the game. It was. My mama said the first toy I ever got when I first got through was football. So I feel like it was destined for me, you know what I mean, to be a part of my lifestyle. Because, with football, like I said, with football, I don't know where I would be at. It has taught me so much things, so much valuable things that I can correlate to the real world, and it has helped me out. You know what I mean? Like relationship, connections, conversational, sacrifices. Football is people say for athletes, college athletes, they get the upper hand on some things, or they gifted in some areas. But hey, it's a 9 to 5. If you really think about
100%.
it, it's a 9 to 5.
And working with the football team, I can tell
you
y'all.
Feel me? Nah, you too, bro. You understand it, bro. Like the regular students, they be like, oh, y'all get privileged and stuff like. I mean, like, hey, like, yeah, you might be right.
There are some things that they do get, but at the end of the day,
at the end of the day, you get to, you go home, you get to study and stuff like. We not getting home till 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
And for y'all, it's even later. You know what I mean? We could be real.
After the first game, I knew it was going to be a long night. I did not get home I didn't get back to my dorm till almost 5 o'clock in the morning. I got to the football stadium at 12 p.m. the day before.
Hey, bro, I believe it, bro. I can believe it, dog.
The sacrifices that we got to make sure everything happened how it's supposed to happen.
Facts.
And for them to do what they're able to do, it's a lot.
It is, bro. It is. I ain't going to tell you. But, like I say, it's everybody plays the big role. You know what I mean? 100%. No matter how small or how big it is, everybody has to play a big role in order for all of this to work out. Like you said, you up there till 4, 5 in the morning, sacrificing your sleep, to
that
prepare.
only happen. The good thing is
that
only happened once. It happened once.
To prepare us, for the next upcoming event. And, I feel as though a lot of people don't give y'all enough appreciation. You know what I mean? I feel as though, like, a lot of people don't really see behind the scenes of what's being taking place in order for us to even perform.
Like, whenever I took the job last spring, I was seeing just a glimpse of it. And there was a couple days where I had to stay late. I'm looking and I'm like, ooh, it's 9 o'clock. What am I doing?
Yeah.
I need to get some ease. But at the end of the day, you love something enough, you gonna do it. And it don't matter what's in front of you.
Most definitely. Most truly. That's true right there. That's facts. Right, man. I actually do appreciate you, offer me and most definitely invite me to more, man. Like I say, I feel like we got a great conversation standpoint where we can speak about any topic, and go prolong,
beyond,
go beyond measures with it. But I feel like I say, bro, like, if I could leave you one thing, do what you love, bro, and trust yourself. You know what I mean? That's one thing I had to build on this football journey is trusting myself. Because there's a lot of things that I'll look at and I'll self-doubt myself like fast. Like in seconds, like, dang, can I do that? Oh, dang, like I really don't know if I could. You know what I mean? And once, I feel as though once people get that self-doubt out of their head and be like, I'm going to do this. And, I'm going to succeed.
It made everything so much easier.
You know what I mean? Like, everything's so much easier, and it allows you just to, flow state, it allows you just to flow with ease because you trust yourself, you got confidence in yourself, and once you did it, once you done it, it's going to be easier. You know what I mean? And that's what's going to grow you. That's what's going to mature you inside your profession or inside whatever you're doing inside life. That's what's going to help you, bro. And I feel as though, hey, bro, trust yourself. No matter what it is in life, no matter what you're doing in life, trust yourself and believe in yourself. Believe in yourself that you can do it. Believe in yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Well, appreciate you, twin. Thank you for
Man,
taking some time talking to me, man.
I thank you for inviting me, bro, and I hope to be on another one soon, bro.
Bless.
Bless.
Bless.